All right, well, welcome everybody to the February 4th, 2025 meeting. It's 6 o'clock. If I could get approval of the agenda at this time, please.
So moved. Second.
Second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
It's our honor tonight to have Tim Ingers going to do our invocation and pledge.
Would y'all please rise and we'll pray? Father, thank you so much for your love and your mercy. Thank you for your son, Jesus. Father, we ask you to watch over and protect the ones in this meeting, protect their family, protect their children. Father, bless us with your wisdom and guidance as we go through this meeting. May all that we say and do be pleasing and according to your word. Father, we ask these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. This is one of my special parts of meetings when we get an opportunity to do it. Ms. Vaughn, you want to introduce this young lady?
I do. If Miss Fisher would come up front and turn around. This is Fisher Reynolds. She is a second grade student at Turner Woods Elementary. And just a few of her accomplishments. 2024, Little Miss Georgia Camellia. 2024, Miss Georgia Sunshine Grand Supreme. Miss Georgia Beauty Ultimate Grand Supreme. 2024, Young Miss Peach Blossom. 2024, Young Miss Heart of Georgia. 2024, Georgia Elementary First Runner-Up. And 2025, Little Miss Royal United States. Wow. She is in the gifted program. Not only is she beautiful, she is in the gifted program at Turner Woods, the first all-star reader to read 300,000 words in the second grade. She has read almost 500,000 words now and is in the Cub Chorus. So this is, let me read a little sweet certificate here for you. And we'll just come on down there.
We're going to get a...
Yeah, we'll get a picture of all of us with her. Oh, boy. Congratulations, Miss Fisher Ann Reynolds, on your crowning achievements in the 2025 Little Miss Royal United States pageant. Your elegance and poise have set you apart, and your win is a well-deserved recognition for your beauty inside and out. The Jones County Board of Commissioners would like to thank you for representing our county so well. The Jones County Board of Commissioners, February the 4th, 2025. And a special gift for little sister Holder too. And I have been taking this sweet little thing's picture since she was a few months old with Santa Claus. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
You ever taken any pictures, Wendy?
Hi.
You ever taken any pictures?
No, just a few.
Just a few. All right, we'll move on tonight to our consent agenda and approval from the minutes. We had swearing-in ceremony on January 7th, along with a call meeting on the 7th. First Tuesday on the 7th, we're busy that day. Work session on January 14th, along with a call meeting on the 14th, and a public hearing on January 28th. If y'all had opportunity to review the minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Sunset Neighborhood Club. Y'all here tonight? Come on. If you don't mind, just introduce yourself again and where you live.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Carol Johnson, and I'm a member of the Sunset Neighborhood Club. And I just have a few words to say. So Please excuse me turning my back to you. I hate that. But anyway, we were here, as you might remember, January the 7th, concerning our lights in our community. At that time, it was quite a bit of discussion about it, and the input came in, was very reassuring in the fact of helping us. So we are here now to tell you that we would like to thank you all. Progress has been made. We are happy. We are extremely happy. Everything hasn't been done, but progress has been made. So I would like to express my thanks of our community to the board, but in particular to you, Mr. Kitchens. You got the ball rolling for us. Miss Ann Wilson was at Miss Myrna Bell's and Miss Jones' house the very next day. She's the supervisor of the outdoor lighting. She was there. So we have paperwork going. We have our bank accounts in order. So we're waiting, Miss Myrna Bell, excuse her for not being here, but she's under the weather. But we're waiting for a response from her to let us know exactly when our lights will be installed, as well as Miss Wimberly's private light, because they're going to do them all at the same time. So, once again, thank all you board members. We appreciate that you listen to us senior citizens, because we were in dire need of our lights. So again, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very
Very
much.
welcome. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank
Let
y'all.
us know about it.
Appreciate you saying.
Shot that up for you.
All right, we'll start off with new business, Health Department finances. We got Dr. Kraft, Ms. Sherry, and Ms. Woodward. I want to come forward.
Good evening. How are y'all?
Good.
How you doing?
Good. Prior to us getting started, there's something I'd like to read, and I'd like to note that all the staff is here from the health department,
saw
with the
that.
exception of 2 people. If y'all will stand up. And Elise is here somewhere. She's right there. I wanted y'all to be able to see the staff, because y'all have never really seen the staff. So this is something that I wrote up, and I just got to thinking, you know, a lot of people don't know much about us unless they ask. So this is just a snapshot. On October 1st, 1937, the Jones County Health Department held their first Board of Health meeting, October 1st of 1937, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm a little nervous. I'm going to start over.
You're doing fine.
On October 1st, 1937, the Jones County Health Department held their first Board of Health meeting. The mission statement for public health is to promote, prevent, and protect. For over 80 years, that is what public health, through the efforts of the Jones County Health Department, has done. When a crisis occurs, whether it's a flu outbreak, coastal evacuation, or pandemic, public health is ready to serve. This was exemplified when we served the county for 2 to 3 years in response to the COVID pandemic. But we respond to smaller emergencies frequently, and we work daily to keep Jones County safe community in which to work, live, and play. People in the community have lived and have had better lives because of public health. An example of that is a few weeks ago, the Sheriff's Department called me and reached out and needed 200 boxes of Narcan. Do y'all know what Narcan is for? Okay. I reached out to our opioid program at the district office and was able to connect the Sheriff's Department with 24 kits of a Narcan and means of acquiring kits through the state through training programs. Each Narcan kit costs $40. 200 boxes would have cost $8,000. And we have provided an avenue for them to obtain this for free or at a reduced cost in an ongoing manner. Jones County is number 1 in our 13-county district for the highest age-adjusted rate of overdose death. That's not good. And because of that, there have been free trainings for teachers, foster parents, Rotary Club, NA Group, Family Connection, and the Suicide Coalition. This is just one example of the many services that public health provides to Jones County. Additionally, we quietly and professionally provide services and treatment every day which protects this county from outbreaks and infectious diseases. Unplanned pregnancy, injury prevention through our car seat program. We also provide needed services to the disadvantaged in our community through providing Low Women's Health Services WIC for mothers and infants, as well as treatment for hypertension and diabetes, and tuberculosis, and LTBI. Those are contacts. These services help keep our population and our workforce healthier and be able better to participate in the workforce of our community. I hope this gives a small snapshot of what local Jones County Health Department does on a daily basis. Thank you for listening.
Good evening. I'd like to say a few words about what environmental health does. I know y'all think of us as health inspectors. You think restaurants. You think tattoo parlors. You think swimming pools, hotels. There's much more to that than what's associated. We also prevent the spread of disease. All of what we do, regardless of whether or not there's a fee associated, is mandated by law. And I'll give you a few examples of some of the things that y'all don't see that's in the limelight. Just yesterday, Maggie and Elise spent hours at a local nursing home here in Jones County that was experiencing a GI outbreak and a flu outbreak. They spent, Elise, how long did y'all spend over there? Okay. So that's an hour and a half per day that she took. She basically revamped how that nursing home operates, how the patients are fed, how the staff interacts with the patients, how the housekeeping staff interacts with the sick patients. How do we keep everybody isolated into their rooms? All of these things were factored into consideration, and at least worked closely with their director to make sure that the kitchen was not contaminating the food. So that patients were staying in their rooms, eating in their rooms, and it was all paper service. So whenever they were done with the food, it was disposed in the trash bag, and the housekeeping knew what to do with it. They knew not to bring it back to the kitchen. So I say that to, basically the whole point of that was to prevent GI and the flu outbreak from spreading, because if it spreads in the nursing home, it's going to spread to the staff. It'll also spread to the community. And that's primary prevention is our goal. So this is one aspect of where we don't charge for a service, but this is something that we do. That's not the only one. I'm sure there was another one that we dealt with in weeks past. We also play a key role in rabies. So the animal control officer handles the animal side of rabies prevention. We handle the human side. Our goal is to make sure that rabies does not enter the human population. If you contract rabies, it's 99.9% fatal. There is nothing you can do. You will die. So all of that, including tracking down the bite victim, tracking down the animal owner, if it's a stray animal, tracking down the stray animal. Maggie and Elise work very closely with animal control here to make sure that the animal is found. If we need to send the head of the animal off for testing, they handle that and they get it to where it needs to go. Addition to that, a failing septic system. How many of you have kids that play in yards? Have you ever had kids play in failing septic systems? Have you ever thought about that? You can get very sick from playing in sewage. So general complaints that we get, Maggie and Elise get every day, a failing septic system, a general restaurant complaint, like I mentioned before, foodborne illness, like I mentioned above with the nursing home. These are things that Maggie and Elise do off the radar. When we had Hurricane Helene, I'm not sure how much Helene impacted here in Jones County, but often storm damage occurs and there's power outages, there's water outages. And Maggie and Elise have to make sure that these don't interrupt the normal food service operations. If they do interrupt them, how do these facilities open up? Do they have contaminated water? Is their water safe to drink? Are they safe to serve the public? How long was the power out in the walk-in cooler? Was it a day? Was it 2 days? These are things that they assess for each facility that they have here. And needless to say, using contaminated water or serving temperature abuse food to the public can cause a major problem, can make someone really ill. So we also work with our emergency preparedness department hand in hand, just like our epidemiologists. We're the eyes and ears of them because we are out in the field doing these things that y'all may or may not know about. So I said all that. Basically, without additional funding, we face cuts in staffing. So what that means for EH, that means delays in construction, plan reviews, site evaluations, which means delays in construction permits that contractors need to build houses. Delay in septic permits. When they can't work, because we can't work, that just creates a backlog. And then all of you will receive calls of, why is this not getting done? Why is this not getting done? So Jones County is one of our counties that continues to see a slow uptick in housing and population growth, and we don't want to hinder the progress that this county is making. Our primary goal is primary prevention, and how do we keep people from not getting sick, or how do we keep the ball moving? But Maggie and Elise, that's all y'all got. So if we don't have the staff to do it, then delays will happen. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Chair, I do have a handout, if that's okay. While he's passing those out, let me just introduce myself. I'm Sylvia Woodford. I am the District Financial Administrator for the North Central Health District. And of course, Jones County is one of the counties in our district, and so our office handle all of the physical management to include budgeting for the Jones County Board of Health and the Health Department. Last year, you all may remember me coming before you, sharing some data, and then also requesting some additional funding as well. At that time, we did request an additional $89,000. However, we were denied. So we are here again today to request some additional support on behalf of the Board of Health and the Health Department. Of course, you all just heard all of the services that we provide, a portion of the services, let me say that we provide in the community, just shared by our nurse manager, Sherry, and our district environmentalist. And so having said that, if you take a look at that first page of that document, you'll see that our average monthly cost to operate the Jones County Health Department is roughly a little over $76,000 a month. And the reason that we are requesting the additional funds today is that we do need assistance and balance in the budget and maintaining, as Neil has said, we do want to maintain our current staff, and we would like to continue the services in order to protect and prevent things from happening in your community. We've had increased inflation costs. We have some unfunded mandates that we are mandated to do. Of course, we've received reduced county contributions, and then some of you may remember that we recently renovated the health department. So we have a beautiful facility, and of course, when we did that, the majority of those funds came from our reserve fund. So we funded that renovation. And so on our end, just to kind of share with you, we are doing everything that we can to increase our revenue, our marketing services with outreach, and then of course we are reviewing our fee schedules as well to ensure that we are appropriately charging for those services where we can. At the bottom of the sheet, you'll see a trending analysis of our operating budget, county contributions, and our cash assets. A few years ago, you can see that we had a very healthy fund balance. If you take a look from 2018 back, and of course at that time, we were questioned by our Board of Health as to, what we were going to do with those funds that were sitting. So I'm here to say that we used the majority of that to renovate your building, which is a county-owned building. And we were also told at that time, if we ever needed additional funds, all we had to do was ask. And so we're here again, asking for that. Generally, we do like to keep 4 to 6 months of operating cash. As you can see, we have about 1.5 months of reserve sitting there. And so, again, without the additional support that we're asking for, that could mean the financial impact of that could mean reduced staff, lesser services, complaints, longer wait times, things of that nature. On the second page, you'll see our budget. On the left side, we're operating currently of a budget of a little over 900,000. And then on the right side, you'll see the fund sources that we use to balance that budget. And as you can see, our largest fund source is state funding, which is grant and aid. And then you can see the contribution and the percentage that you all provide as well. And so again, we're just here to make an appeal to you to give us additional funding. We would like to be restored back to the 100,000 that we were a few years ago. And so that's our appeal to you today. Any questions for me?
Any questions this time from the board?
Okay.
If I may,
Absolutely, come on.
couple of things. My name is Dr. Thomas Kraft, and I'm the District Health Director for South Central Health District for about the past 2.5 years. I've been serving as the interim District Health Director for North Central Health District. So I appreciate you letting me address you all on behalf of this health department in this district. And the only thing I really wanted to add as a plea for better support of public health services in your county, I think they've made a really good argument for what we support in the counties that we serve. And a lot of the services that we provide do fly under the radar. They always say that when you hear about public health, you're in trouble. When you don't hear about public health, it's because they're doing a good job. And so a lot of times we purposefully fly under the radar or we keep things under the radar because these folks are doing a good job. But I just wanted to mention something that, again, I don't know how folks feel about comparisons and those sorts of things, but I do know that about the time I was getting started here in this district is about the time that funding for Jones County was diminished. And I can certainly understand when, as a county or as a board of commissioners, you see a big pot of money sitting out there, and you wonder about what that means. But as a government-funded agency, and now is the perfect time to understand, sometimes money doesn't flow from the state government or from the federal government like it normally does. And now's a perfect example with frozen funds at the federal level, which directly impact the state's budget. Our state is 50% federally funded. So right now our whole state is trying to lock down and manage funds because we're looking at a 50% budget until some of this gets figured out. And I just wanted to mention that since the cut in funding from Jones County, I always try to look at populations of a county and a dollar spent by a county on the population that they serve. And currently with the funding that Jones County is giving the local health department, Jones County is only spending about 49 cents per person per year to support public health in your county. And without making county-to-county comparisons or anything along those lines, it's definitely on the low end of the spectrum. Where you were before at around $100,000 really puts you in the ballpark of the average of what the other 13 counties in this district are contributing. I tried to do an analysis of all the 13 counties in your district, and if you take the 3 lowest away and the 3 highest away and average those 7 left in between, most counties average are spending about $3.75 per person in their county to support the work of public health. And if you multiply that $3.75 by your population, you actually get about $110,000 in change. And so, in the realm of comparison and in the realm of what most counties do to support public health, where you were previously was really where most counties are in their support of public health. So I'd ask you to consider that. I'd also ask you to consider, as Sylvia mentioned, that because the renovation to the health department, which was supposed to be primarily funded by a WIC infrastructure grant, 11 of the 13 counties in this district were supported by that grant. Your county and one other was at the end of that cycle, and when we applied for those grants, WIC, which is a federal program, kind of changed their focus, and they didn't allow infrastructure grants anymore for that year. So the fund balance for this health department basically went away because we were committed to that renovation for your county and wanted to provide a great facility. We renovated your local building with our funds to provide great public health to the community, and we appreciate the ability to do that. But I'm just hoping and pleading that after considering all that's been presented today, that you consider reevaluating where we stand now as a health department and where we stand in need of your resumed support at the previous level that you did prior. Thank you.
Any comments on the board?
Chair, and I start by saying that I would hope we would look at this during budget session like we do everything else instead of right now. But I will make a few comments because we were talking about the reduction in funding. I don't think that was an arbitrary, well, let me first say, we couldn't exist without the health department. This county could not survive. Our constituents, our taxpayers, our people, our community couldn't survive without the health department. So the need that you guys suffice for, the need that you guys satisfy is unparalleled. So there's no question about the need for it or how much we support it. But when we looked at the numbers, when we made this decision, we looked at the numbers, and I just calculated between 2018 and 2022, we increased, with our funding, the fund balance increased by about $27,000 a year for those 5 years. In 2023, it increased about $275,000 in 1 year. Now, I know some of that was probably well, that was an increase in your fund balance. So then the reduction all came at one time. So there was a couple of things that hit that all happened at one time that was a big hit. The funding that was supposed to be there from the WIC had nothing to do with us. That you had to take out of your fund balance to finish a project had nothing to really to do with us. And I'm a little bit, to be honest, taken aback. I've heard it 3 times that we renovated your building. Well, we never used that building. The only purpose for that building is for the health department. So you renovated your building to provide better services, more services, and all that. So I think that's a fair statement to say that all the money that was used, quite a bit of it that we contributed year after year was used for that one-time construction. So I would argue that that cost is not going to be there every year going forward. It does look bad if you look at a point in time when the fund balance is low. But if you look at the difference in the fund balance from 2018 to 2023, and you take away the $1.5 million that we had to spend for renovations, it doesn't give you such a bleak picture on the overall cost and the overall fund balance of the program in general. That's not to say that I don't. We all recognize that the cost of doing business has gone up in the last few years, and so I do think it's worthwhile for us to look at those costs and look at what we're providing as support. So I would be glad to look at that, but I just don't want people to think that we were contributing $100,000 a year and then we just decided to stop to save money, because that was the farthest thing from the truth. We reduced that back because we saw the money that we were contributing was a direct increase in your fund balance every year. And so that was evident by hard times hit in the construction side with the WIC grant. You were able to still complete your construction project as planned. I don't think we come back and said we were going to lose whatever the amount was from the WIC grant, if it was $500,000, we didn't reduce the construction project by $500,000 because that funding was not there. We made a decision to go ahead and use the fund balance that we helped create to do that. Probably a good decision. I think we've got a great building, we've got a great facility there, and we're providing great services. I don't want us to knee-jerk reaction that because the fund balance is low, that we need to just resume what we've always done.
And I do fully appreciate that, and I apologize if I offended by saying your building. I think of, anyway, I'm sorry.
It's our
That's probably
building.
bad language on my part.
It's
and I didn't mean that.
their building. It's
Sure.
all of our building, yeah.
It is. I would only just like to propose that during that same time when there were also COVID funds flowing into our district from state levels that flowed everywhere and did push a lot of fund balances up, but they were filtered into the county and into services to provide all of the impactful things that this group did to help combat COVID in your counties and across the state. So those were temporary funds that lasted a couple of years, maybe 3 at the most, and filtered away again. So that may be some of that discrepancy that you see. Because they're gone now, those funds.
Ours too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody.
everybody's.
Yeah. But I do appreciate the consideration and certainly.
How many people in our community do y'all service in a month's time?
Those numbers may better be answered by local staff because,
I would,
and these will be clinical numbers from her because
Right.
we also service
Right.
environmental people. all
Environmental.
over the community.
to talk about what we service, we also service a lot of things we do not get paid for, a whole lot of things we do. But as far as clinical services, I'd probably say maybe 50, that's just off the top of my head. I'd have to run reports and see. But like I said, a lot of the stuff that we do, like school audits, that take me hours to do.
That's within the walls. Outside the walls, we do.
Right, and, you know, home visits for TB patients and
Flu
all that kind
flu
of.
clinics for
Flu
schools and
clinics
flu
for
clinics for
schools
nursing
and
homes.
stuff like that. A lot of the work that we do, sadly, behind the scene works, the preparation it actually takes to see one patient. And you all went to the doctor before, you already know that. It takes 15 minutes for me to give that 2-second shot. So there's, the preparation for what we do is enormous for the school-based schools, for the school-based flu clinic. We did 300 kids this past flu season. Per child, it takes 45 minutes to work up one child to give that 2-second shot. So there is a lot of time that we are just preparing and preparing and preparing, because everything has got to be 100% excellent.
Would it be possible, Chairman, when we do look at this during, hopefully during budget season, would it be possible for you guys to give us maybe, because I know part of the construction, the intent was to give better space, to give better flow in the space, give more efficiency and be able to serve more and better, so we serve more people. I'd like to see maybe 2 years prior to construction and then the 2 years after construction. How did we do on that? I mean, are we serving more? And if we're serving more, then that would help justify we need more. You know, so I think Commissioner Martin says it best. He's a numbers guy, so I'm sure he'd like to look at that.
Right.
And, you know, I think what Sam is saying is right. I'd love to know the tracking for all of the services you provide. And that makes sense for us to quantify what the contribution level should be and the impact that it would have. Because when we look at the numbers, of course, on what was given out to us, we see the ballooning of the numbers, of course, as you've got contributions from different areas. I didn't know what those were. I figured it out. I was like, oh, well, they got money, but I didn't know where. And then I definitely don't know how it was spent. And then, of course, you know, just this year, it just shows your cash assets being $135,000 down from $371, down from $1.1 million, right? So we're like, oh, you're not spending money, but we know you spent money, right? So I would like to see that if that would help. So, thank you.
All right, anything else?
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Amy. Mr. Jarrett? I knew I seen you hiding in the back sometime.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everybody.
How you do,
Good
sir?
I'm gonna be brief, I'm not gonna be near as long, but, so I know the board is aware I'm down a deputy coroner, and, I found it, difficult to find a suitable replacement. I did find a gentleman that was willing to do it, and he brought some things to my attention that maybe we should probably look at, and that's pretty much what I'm asking for today. But since he's agreed to come on board, he's had some medical issues, and now he's not going to be able to do it anyway. So I'm still down. It's just Wayne and I that are pretty much covering the burden of the coroner's office right now. So what I'm asking for is the deputy coroners. They don't get any kind of salary or anything. They get paid a per call, $175. Wayne and I right now, we work a rotation. He works an on-call during the day when I'm at my primary job, and then I carry the nights most of the time until we get that third person hired. And so if he goes all day and he's not working his other job, then he doesn't make any money for the coroner's office at all, but he's still covering the county. And so in my mind, we're probably better off if we were to, if all they get is the 175, then if we could cover their mileage to and from those death scenes, then we could put as much of that 175 in their pocket as we possibly can, because that's what they're earning for the job. I know the board says I was asking for a vehicle as well, but I'm really asking either or. I mean, if we could do a vehicle to where it doesn't cost them to drive, and go on these calls, then I'm all for that. It doesn't have to be a new vehicle. I mean, a beater with a heater's fine with us, so. Just something we can stock to be ready to go at any time. And when you say the 175 for the deputy coroners, that's a fair compensation. But when you put into the fact that some of these calls, it could take multiple portions of multiple days to go on to handle. By the time you get through subpoenaing medical records, reviewing the medical records, tracking down family members if you if you've got someone that you can't find family members, attending, if it's a child, attending child fatality review meetings, which are required, so that deputy does not get anything in addition to that 175 for going and spending all that time on that call. And so that's pretty much it, just kind of asking for the board to consider to compensate the mileage on these calls. Any questions?
Jared, what do the neighboring counties do in terms of mileage?
Well, most of the neighboring counties, Twiggs, Wilkinson, Bibb, of course, Bibb is not, that's a different animal than us. But Twiggs and Wilkinson, Putnam, all their coroners have vehicles that are dedicated to the office.
So they don't reimburse miles?
No, they don't reimburse mileage, but they do have a vehicle.
Gotcha.
And when I say a vehicle as well, I don't want the board to think that I want to get into any kind of transportation or anything like that, because that would be a whole different animal, because then you've got to worry about storage. You're going to have a cot to do the transportation and everything. I'm satisfied with the way that we're handling as far as the transports right now. So we just need something to be able to, to get to the scene, pretty much.
And how many scenes do you visit a year?
It varies, but average about 100 a year.
Do we know what surrounding counties pay per call?
I
Average?
do not know as far as the salaries or anything like that. I know Jones County is providing whatever the state minimum salary is. But I couldn't compare that to other counties.
Jason, did we look at any of this when we did our salary study a few years back?
No, they weren't included in that.
So in my opinion, in fairness, I'd like to see what other counties are doing as far as, and the cost difference between a vehicle that would only go to calls versus the mileage, whatever's in the best interest of the county. What are other surrounding counties or like counties paying as far as their call? Because we may be in a situation, we knew we were on the lower end of the pay grades when it comes to our salaries, and we corrected that. And if this was still a price that was being paid 5, 6, 7 years ago, then it's probably not in line with where some others may be. So I definitely think it's worth looking at. I would hate to give an opinion right now, not knowing any of those variables, so.
I understand.
Question, Matt. How many years has it price been at 175, or what the deputy coroner's been paid per call?
It went from 147 to 175, and that's been, 10 or 12 years ago.
Okay.
At a
So-
minimum, I might be lowballing there. but
And you said 175 is the minimum of the state?
That's what's said in Title 45.
All right. Okay.
If you had a car, where would it be stored?
At our office.
So they would drive to the office?
I guess so, yes, sir. Or whoever's on call would keep the vehicle. We haven't worked that logistics out yet.
All right. Just
But-
thinking about that, like,
Yeah.
okay.
I would assume if they're 2 12-hour shifts, the car would be at the office. Day shift goes in, gets the car. Night shift comes in, swaps out.
Matt, Wayne had texted me and said 19 years at that price.
19?
19. Wayne had texted me on that. He must be watching. Okay.
So, yeah, I was lowballing.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Motion to table?
Yep, and get more information, definitely worth looking into the.
Postpone, sorry.
Postpone. We got a
Commissioner
second.
Martin said second.
Any more discussion on this? No? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
I think we're going to look into it.
Thank you.
Bid award, Mr. Ingram. This has been there quite some time. We've been waiting on this one.
Yes, sir. January 30th, we opened bids here for the Union Hill Bridge replacement. Had 4 bidders. Gregory Bridge of Eatonton was low, $721,870. We're recommending award to Gregory Bridge. As a side note, the DOT is covering 70% of the construction cost, which is $505,309. That would leave the county covering $216,561 on the project.
Thank you.
So,
It's your district, Mr. Wood.
All right. Motion to approve bridge replacement by Gregory Bridge Company for Union Hill Church Road.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any more discussion on this? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Martin, MGRC grants for revitalization.
Yes, looking at any grants that we can use in the neighborhoods in District 4, in the community, and then, of course, business, and leveraging the regional commission to help us identify some of those resources so we can apply them in the county. So, want approval for that so we can move forward with it.
And all they need is a letter from us asking them
Correct.
to do it.
Yep.
All right. Motion to approve the Middle Georgia Regional Commission for assistance for grants for revitalization.
Second.
Second, any more discussion on this? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Commissioner Martin.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Risner, tax commissioner request?
In your packet, you have 2 letters from the tax commissioner. These are standard things that, it's not a change in the way we've traditionally done business. As I recall, this is something that the board has to approve at the beginning of each term, and so the tax commissioners just ask if you'll approve the items that he's laid out in these letters.
Any question from Mr. Risner?
money for them, I think. We approve them both at one time, just
I think that's fine.
motion to approve the two tax commissioners' requests.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye? Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right, authorizing RFP, countywide revaluation. I'm gonna get this out here in a minute. Funding only. Mr. Risner?
Do you want to talk about it, Chairman, or?
Oh, you can do it like this. I had my tongue so tied up just a while ago. I think you need to.
Rather than authorizing the RFP, I think that comes from the Board of Tax Assessors. The Board of Commissioners would be charged with funding that, and so if appropriate, I think it might be good for the board to authorize the funding necessary to do the countywide reevaluation when the Board of Tax Assessors opts to move on that.
Sure.
I'm glad to hear that you're considering a countywide revaluation. The last one was done in 2007, which is 18 years. Every 15 to 20 years, you need to do one because the cost schedules and tables become irrelevant over that time. So this is probably needed to bring everything up to par. I thought that this would be a good option because I got a quote about 5 months ago from a revaluation company here in Georgia because I knew that might be an option. I can give it to you just so you can see what's entailed in this quote. Matter of fact, Thursday, I was going to bring this subject to the Board of Tax Assessors for consideration because it is needed because it has been 18 years. And the last one was done in 2007, which was the downturn of the housing market, which means those cost tables and schedules were put in at a very low number. And after 18 years, they need to be updated.
How many companies in Georgia do reevaluations?
So I contacted one, contacted another one, they never got back to me. So as far as I know, one. And they've done many counties in the area and all over the state. And they're well-known and well-respected. So let me just give you
I don't think we
what
need
it,
to.
what it looks like.
Tony, before you get too far, I would suggest if it's more than our bid threshold, not to publicly announce the company's name because it would recuse them from being able to bid.
Commissioner, we need to let the Board of Tax Assessors handle this. We're just applying for, approving
Right.
funding for this, so we don't, that's,
You
this,
don't want to see the
I think it needs to be the Board of Tax Assessors to do it. This is just making sure that the funds are available to do this, so there's nothing holding us up.
No problem.
I'd hate for them to be not able to bid by,
I
Right,
was just
having
going
a-
to show you what's
yeah.
entailed
right.
in that quote.
So,
So you had an idea.
So,
based on that, if there's only one, you really can't show that. And I know under professional services, we're allowed to
right.
sidestep that requirement, but still, if there's only one,
It's the only one that I know of.
Can't show.
I've researched it. and
We'll let
there's
the
only
Board of
one
Tax
that I-
Assessors handle that, and they can
okay.
confirm.
I would suggest, as of right now, you all really have no idea what the funding requirements will be as far as amounts. So maybe the motion would be that you would be in support of the Board of Assessors making such a decision, that the Board of Commissioners would support that action, and then allow them to come forward with, okay, now here's what the funding is, and you all approve the funds, and then you know how much you need and where it's gonna come from. We're sort of getting the cart before the horse.
Correct. We need to do a motion of support.
Yes.
Correct.
You wanna-
I'll go ahead.
we done with it.
I'll I'll make a motion. I will make a motion of support for the Board of Tax Assessors to pursue countywide revaluation, tongue twister. For when the time's right, they'll come back to us for funding.
Second.
Second, any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you. Clement Weather holiday pay, Mr. Resner, I think we crossed this bridge several times in the several years, and
We
I
have.
think we've decided we'd do on a case-by-case basis, if I remember right.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And so, as it always seems to happen, the severe weather event came at the same time we had a holiday. And so, this happened, I believe it was 2023, or around the Christmas holidays. And so the board adopted this, the policy you have in your packet here that does just what you said. It says the board will just kind of make a determination on a case-by-case basis. So, and we had the weather event on the 21st and impacted us during that week. And that was also a holiday week. And so just here to ask you how you want to handle that situation. At this point, we've paid the employees for the time they would have been here, for any time they actually came in, but it was all at straight time because of the hours worked, hours actually worked requirement there. So this says that you can opt to give them extra pay or a bonus as you see fit. So.
I think at that time we talked about it, and what our intent was, as the board, is just simple: do right by the employees, do right by the staff. I mean, they worked at a time when nobody else was working. They worked at a time when we needed them to work to keep roads safe, trees out of the road. You know, all these things. They did it because that's what they expected was their job. That's what they anticipated to do when the time came. And I think we need to do right by them. And now I think our decision is, do we take an hourly amount? They've already been paid for regular time. Do we do an overtime amount for any hours that they worked, that leaving out inclement weather and leaving out holidays? If it were a regular day and they worked that many hours, what would their overtime pay be? Or do we do a bonus, a dollar amount bonus for any employees that worked? That, a one-time bonus. I think last time we did a one-time bonus, maybe,
I think we did last time that way.
but I don't know, or did we do?
You remember?
I don't remember. Did we do hourly?
I think we did it.
I think it was, we gave them overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bonus was for something else, that's right. Yeah.
I think it was overtime.
And I think that would be the fairest, because different salaries at different levels would be different.
Right.
You know.
That's fair.
Can you come back with an equivalent for overtime pay for what it would have been?
Yes,
I think you're
so,
trying-
so basically treat the 8 hours of holiday as hours worked, so that it triggers overtime. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, anytime that they work that they wouldn't have normally worked, overtime hours.
So, like, okay, so I'm looking at this as everybody went home at 2:00 on Tuesday, correct?
Yes,
Everybody returned back at 11 a.m. on Thursday.
that's right.
So these people went above and beyond between 2 p.m. on Tuesday to 11 a.m. on Thursday?
Yes.
So you can't do the hours,
I know,
because you gotta have sweat hours. You
Yes.
gotta, you know, they're gonna require that you work that many, actually work that many hours. So that's why I'm saying the equivalent of overtime, just as if it were a normal day and they were working overtime. So if that means we owe them 10 hours at overtime, then we owe them 15 hours at regular time. Or we calculate that out so that we do what's right by them. That's my opinion.
If you could get back on that, we can fix it at the next meeting.
Okay.
Motion to postpone to get additional information so we can
Second.
get it out on that.
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. Old business, Ms. Wagner, we've got an amendment to some minutes.
the 11/5/24 minutes, Maggie Brown came from the health department to talk about the fees, and in the minutes, I put the first thing that y'all approved. I did not put the second thing, so I need y'all to make an amendment to add the motion, that any new fees that were being introduced to the fee schedule, be at 65% of the cost rate. That was not included in the minutes, and I need to add that.
Be determined at 65%,
Of the cost rate.
65% of the cost rate. Okay. You ready for a motion?
Sure.
Make a motion that we amend the old business minutes from November 5th, 2024 to state that any fees be determined at 65% of the rate for going rate.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it, thank you. All right, peer review. I think we all have a copy of it. Who'd like to start? Thoughts? Just for discussion purpose.
I don't have a lot of thoughts on it, Chairman. I think it was extensive, it was thorough, it was long. It was really long. Took a long time to read through it. For me, I think I don't want to use the word validated, but I think I have to. Validated the issues that we assumed were issues, that we were told were issues, that we were told by different people were the issues. And I think the report showed that this report agreed that some of the same issues that we were talking about were actual issues. And, there's, and it's on different levels, different types of issues. But to me, the report confirmed, good or bad, the things that we were hearing and thinking. So.
Anyone else?
For those that are sitting out here that don't know who did the peer report, I'm just gonna go over right quick, because I think that's important for you to know, that it was performed by, the Revenue Commissioner of the State of Georgia, Frank O'Connell, appointed an independent review board for the purpose of conducting a performance review of the Jones County Board of Tax Assessors. Those that are appointed were Ben Pope, who was a specialist, and he is the local government service division of the Georgia Department of Revenue. Then you had James Stokes Jr., who was a director and chief appraiser from Paulding County. And then you had Charles Anglin II, who was a chief appraiser from Putnam County. So those were just the ones that were appointed to do this review. And people that were reviewed were all of us, all of those that sit on the Board of Assessors, the chief appraiser, the appraiser's office, every employee through that. Anybody that does, the superintendent of the school system, because tax money affects the school systems also. So this was not something that was just nitpicking, we're gonna go to this person and see what they say. They did a very thorough investigation, okay? Very well documented, very clear as to what they found on each part of it. So it's the last time that one of these were done in Jones County was in 2009, and it was a 9-page document. Okay.
I was going to add also, they brought field staff and went out in the county as well as going through the tax assessor's office, the computers, paper files. Everything was made available to them to go and have a thorough and unbiased evaluation.
And
this-
they reviewed documents, persons, property, and resources. All of these things were reviewed by these people that came through.
This was discussion purposes, I just want to bring it up. Mr. Martin, anything to add?
You know, the why we did the peer review, the who it would benefit, and the reality that the new board said that they didn't need it, it was irrelevant to their decision, to me makes it a moot point, so I'm ready to move on.
All right. Any more discussion from this board? Mr. Tony, come forward.
Yeah. So I did a deep dive of the peer review. And, I have copies that I went through. Okay. To show what we've been doing, what we've accomplished, what we still need to work on. The green tabs are things that have been accomplished before the peer review came out. Orange tabs, which is about 6%, are the ones that you've done after the peer review came out. The teal ones are the ones that you still have to work on. The green ones represent about 80% of what the recommendations were from the peer review that we have already accomplished before the report.
Is this green?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like going, I'm looking at this green, that's, yeah.
Green, yellow, and teal. So, Jason, I think I have one for you. Just to make it a little bit clearer, that the last several months, we've been working on things, the grading of all those properties that might have been cited have all been corrected. We graded over about 400 properties so that they are in line and consistent now where they should be. And so I just want to let you know that, 2003 was a very challenging year for us. We lost 50% of our appraisal staff in 2023, and the work had to still continue and go on. So a lot of us in 2023 were doing 2 and 3 jobs and trying to make it work. We still got the digest done on time. We still got the approval of the digest. We still only had 151 appeals during that year. So we did have still successes in 2023. Our digest, like I said, has always been on time. There was no collection orders, but it was a challenging year because we lost half of our appraisal staff to retirement. So we didn't cry about it. We just continued with the work and try to hire someone and get them in here as soon as possible, but that's kind of difficult sometimes because not too many experienced people are going to come to Jones County based on the pay rate. So we have to continue with the work and get it done. So I just wanted to give you that so that you can see some of the things that we've done ahead of this peer review coming out. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I'm gonna say one thing. You said we can't get people because we're competitive. We fix that. We're more competitive than we've ever been as far as the ability to hire and maintain staff. Because we have worked hard at that, and I know. But
I understand.
okay. I can appreciate this, though, Tony.
Department heads, ladies first. Brenda? We got two ladies to start with.
Hello,
And you got
good
some guy
evening.
coming up behind you.
Oh, yeah, I know him. Well, good evening. So first of all, I have a lot of thank yous on here to go through. I wanted to thank Jason for asking about the pay for the inclement weather, and I wanted to thank you guys for considering it as well. I know that means a lot, not just to Public Works, but for everybody, Sheriff's Office, EMA, Water Department. I know all of us ended up working. Some of us stayed in cots overnight, some of us just took trucks home. I know for us, we went through a little over 2 pallets of salt and mixture using the spreader truck to get different bridges and make sure the roads stayed open. But from what I heard with the sheriff's office and the EMA, there was still a lot of cars off the side of the road. So everybody was working as hard as they could to keep the roads open, so we appreciate that. I also wanted to thank EMA and thank Karen and Glenn because they did meet us before the storm started to provide us with cots. And they're also helping us with researching some better radios for long distance so that when we're on different sides of the county, we can reach our guys. So I wanted to say we appreciate y'all. Also, we wanted to say thank you to 4-H also. They lent us a vehicle so that our guys were able to go to the APWA equipment show today. That's something that we enjoy doing every year, and we get to see different options that are out there, so it benefits the county, the department, and it also helps boost morale, so that was nice. Also, though, we had Jerry Arnold and Chuck Humphreys graduate from the CPWM program, which is the Certified Public Works Professional Program, where they learned a lot about how to help the county. So they were awarded, what day was that, Jerry? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. So we wanted to congratulate them. And so, other than that, business as usual.
Well, I'm gonna give y'all add a girl and add a guy. The sheriff's department called with an emergency and got those screaming Detroit going down the road. I heard it was coming down the road, and I'm going, that can't be nothing but our old salt truck, and it, but they had a mess on 18 with a propane truck that just about could have been, disastrous, and y'all were there, got it, and like I said, there was a lot of road.
Yes, sir, that's what we're here for.
Yep. One of them, I had my daughter all across the road. Y'all come through, and I'm going to. Literally, I just got a call. She said, "Daddy, I just wrecked." I'm going. I got to be in the OR in 30 minutes. So we got her back on the road, but we thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. I just, on a lighter note, Mr. Risner and I talked a while back. We've been recycling some of the bikes out of the convenience centers, and we'll be probably working with Ronnie Henson at Sunrise, kind of distributing those through. I didn't know if y'all had seen it on Facebook. Lorinda had posted everything. But that's just a little something small we're doing.
There's some good stuff in that thing. I just can't believe people.
Well, we don't get in there to get them. We let them leave them outside.
But seriously, I mean, some of the stuff they've got in there is like,
Oh, man, that's great.
why would they
But
throw
anyway,
that
I
out?
figured some kids could, benefit from something like that. But we-
Absolutely.
That's
But they're
awesome.
rideable bikes, we don't send any junk down there. So.
Sure.
Other than that, and yeah, I appreciate Jason presenting that, because it will boost the guys' morales with that holiday pay thing getting taken care of.
Yep.
That's an awesome initiative that Ronnie will definitely get some kids some smiles on their faces that
right.
may not be able to afford a bike or may not have one for whatever reason.
Sure.
I think that's good. That's really
Yep.
good stuff.
Thank y'all.
Thank
you.
you.
Ms. Karen, you're hiding.
Not really. All right. I'm Karen McMichael, and I am the interim EMA director right now. Maybe one day it'll be full-time, we'll see. But just to update y'all on the snowstorm that we had, I think everything went really smooth. There was a lot of hard work and hours, and thanks to Public Works, the fire department, the sheriff's department for all their good work, because cars were going off the roadway left and right all night long. I mean, I was listening, and
This week is severe weather week. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we're going to be testing the sirens all around the county. So if you get a call, it's a test, not a tornado. And then we are in the process of doing some fixing to start doing our our hazard mitigation for the county. It's going to be finishing up in January of next year. And so we're going to start now doing the kickoff meetings and everything. And Jason and I will get letters out regarding when those meetings are going to be. And I think that's about all I have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's Parks and Rec up to?
How y'all doing? Been an exciting week for us in Parks and Recreation Golf with just the weather change, seeing everybody take advantage of all of our wonderful facilities, whether it's the golf course or playgrounds or pickleball or the ball fields. I mean, all the travel ball teams are back out. All the kids are getting ready for rec ball. So it's just been, nice to go. It was nice to see the snow on the ground, but it's nice to see sunshine and warmer weather. And certainly the citizens of Jones County are taking advantage of our great facilities. A couple of updates. We're well underway on Liberty Park project and the pickleball courts. They both should be done this spring. I want to thank Public Works for their help with both of those projects. They've taken significant roles in kind of the pre-construction of both of those projects, and without them, we wouldn't be where we're at right now, or we'd had to pay a lot more money. So it's nice being able to do the things that we can do in-house, and they're always really easy to work with. We're wrapping up our winter sports. Basketball just came to an end this weekend. All we have left with them is All-Stars. We have about 4 or 5 teams that'll be traveling places from Atlanta down to Peach County and playing in different district tournaments. At the end of the month, we're hoping some of them will be able to advance to the state tournaments, and which I'm sure they will. Spring sports registrations are underway, and some of them are coming to an end. It's a very busy time of year for our Jones County Little League, 49 baseball, track. I want to thank all of the volunteers for those organizations, and some of y'all know Commissioner Martin and Kitchens, who have served on those type boards before, that this time of year being in those organizations is very time demanding, and you're never going to be able to make everybody happy, but appreciate all of our volunteers. They make everything great. And last but not least, our staff. This is a very demanding time of year for all of our staff, whether it be the golf course or the ball fields, just getting everything ready for people to return from winter. So all of our staff have been doing an outstanding job. No matter what it is, we always have somebody step up, and we don't have to do a lot of arm twisting around here. Unfortunately, we had an incident, this past weekend at Genesco, and we lost a golf cart in the pond, and we had one of our staff members step up. It wasn't 2 minutes, and he was in the pond, strapping that golf cart to the tractor and pulled it on out of there. So we always have people willing to step up for those types of situations, and we're lucky to have such a good staff. But thanks for all y'all do for us, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Bert, I'm just curious, how does a golf cart end up in the pond?
Commissioner Martin, there are several ways that can happen. I don't think that's an appropriate question.
Allegedly, it was brake failure. Allegedly,
That's
it was
right.
brake failure.
Sometimes the brakes just go out on them things.
Okay, Commissioner Kitchens knows from firsthand experience.
I can tell you from
We're going to
experience.
restrict his cart rental next time, okay? I'm just asking a question.
I hadn't missed anybody on department heads, have I? Mr. Resnick, you got anything?
No, sir.
Well, talking about volunteers, Jake, you want to come up and lead off on citizen comments? I think you're one of those volunteers he spoke about, wasn't he?
I am. First of all, I just want to say, thank you for your commitment to recreation. Bert and his staff do a phenomenal job. keeping our fields lined with the grass cut. I can call him and he can turn the lights on, and he does a phenomenal job with that. As far as recreation goes, I would just ask that you please consider to propose budget line items for recreation so that our children have a place to play. We know they don't always get passed, but please continue to propose those. As far as Jones County Little League and what we have coming up, our open day is March 15th. The season runs to mid-May. Right now, by the numbers, we have 528 kids signed up in 12 leagues from 3-year-old wee ball, which is hilarious. You should come watch one of those games. And all the way up to from wee ball to t-ball to coach pitch, kid pitch, and then we have a 16U baseball and softball league that our high school kids come and play. Would like to invite y'all to come out and watch the kids play. There's a lot of your constituents out there, and we play on Mondays, Tuesdays. We take Wednesdays off for church, and Thursdays and Fridays, and some Saturday mornings. And just would love to have you guys out there. And also, this year we're proud to be hosting 2 groups of softball all-stars in around mid-June. Our district is District 5, and that includes Warner Robins Little League, Vine Eagle, Western, Dudley, Chatham County. Believe it or not, our district kind of hugs the I-16 corridor. So again, thank you for everything that you do. Bert and his staff are great. The fields look phenomenal. The new machine that y'all have, the fields look better than they have in, I don't know, since my kids started playing there. So those look great. They do a great job. A lot of our a lot of the leagues in our district don't have the relationship with the local government like we have. A lot of them have to lease their facility, and the board members have to cut the grass, they have to line the fields, clean the bathrooms, pay the power bill. We don't have to do any of that, so we can concentrate on hiring the umpires, finding coaches, all the things that go along with running a ballpark. So thank you very much, and look forward to seeing y'all out there.
Thank you very much.
Jake Andrews, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm informal Jake.
Thank you.
Your daddy used to sit right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
When
sit right here.
when I told him I was going to be on the Little League board, he told me he'd rather be a county commissioner.
Any other citizens tonight like to come forward? Sure.
Hello, my name is Mickey Parker, 730 Legacy Farms Road, and I think I speak for a number of your constituents. This peer review came back far, 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 far worse, and as a condemnation of the tax assessor's office and the assessor's board. We've got senior citizens whose property taxes and credits were incorrectly calculated. Everyone in this room, every citizen, has paid more in property taxes in 22, 23, and 24 because the tax assessors could not fully bill the public utilities in this county, North Fork, Southern, Tri-County, Georgia Power, AT&T, because they failed the sales tax ratio, which the state of Georgia uses to determine how equitable, how fair our taxes are. I am just entirely embarrassed to see this report on our county. And if this were a private corporation, there would have been heads lopped off a long time ago. And I just hope that the new tax assessor board will take the appropriate action. I don't know how long it's going to take to fix this. But we've got people paying too much in property taxes that are now going to have to wait until a reevaluation is done. And I contend the 9,400 tax assessments or tax values that were raised last year was illegal because we've had 2 employees, a former employee, and a member of the Board of Equalization, and now the Department of Revenue saying, you guys aren't doing it right. I mean, there's nothing, I dare you to find something in this report that says we're doing a good job. There's not. There's nothing in this report that says we are doing a good job, and we've been doing a bad job since 2022. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No one? Commissioner comments tonight? John, you want to start off?
I don't have very much tonight. It's been a busy month of January, and now we're hopefully slow down a little bit in February.
Yeah. Mr. Kitchen?
It's been a quick month of January, that's for sure. I just want to repeat what a lot of other people have said. These departments that shout out each other is just awesome for me. But I just want them to know that other people, every time we turn around, people are calling us. I know me as commissioners to tell us what an awesome job y'all are doing, whether it's recreation or whether it's public works or whether it's EMA. You know, we've got talked with the sheriff's department about all the stuff that was going on that the state didn't get to during these storms that our public works department or our EMA were getting to. That's the kind of stuff that just, I mean, it just warms your heart that you know that the people that represent you and represent this county do that kind of job. And so I think it's just worthwhile that not just y'all shouting each other out, but y'all know that other people recognize it, other people see it, and either other people say it. So that's really cool for us to get that, because in these positions, you don't always get people to call you and tell you you do a good job. They sure call you when you're not doing a good job, but you don't always get it when you're doing a good job. And I will end with saying, they're not here tonight, but Animal Control, I don't know how many times I've called them lately, where people have called me and say, I saw, a mom and dog and 3 puppies, or 2 stray dogs or 2 stray cats, and they're worried that they're going to get hit. They're running down the road, and you call Animal Control, and they say, okay, we'll figure something out. We're full, but we'll figure something out. We have got a real problem with, I'm gonna say it, irresponsible pet owners in this county, whether they're not spaying and neutering their animals or whether they're just dumping them out expecting somebody else to take care of them. It's just a shame that we as a community have to have an animal control shelter the size we got and it stay full all the time. And they spend all their days and nights trying to find people that will give these animals a home and get them out just to open a door for another one to come in. It's just a shame. So when we say all that we fund this, they do huge fundraising campaigns. We have so many people that donate food and blankets and medicine and all this for these animals. We have been so blessed that we don't have to put a lot of money towards animal control other than the basic operations of that department. So I saw on Facebook the other day where they were having a sponsor Valentine's, sponsor an animal for Valentine's, a spay and neuter. And I think it's like $110 for an animal. That gets everything from the spay or neuter, the shots, the upkeep, everything that animal needs to go to be healthy to go to a family. So that the adopter doesn't have to, because people say, I can't afford it, but I would. I'd love to have one, but I can't afford all these upfront fees. So sponsoring an animal like that is huge. I know they put the challenge on Facebook. Chairman and I have discussed it over the years. I've challenged him, and I got to where I don't do it anymore because every time I challenge him, he like quadruples what I challenge him, and it makes me pay up. So, I ain't money bags like he is, so, it makes it tough. But I just ask everybody to consider, and I challenge all my co-conspirators in this game to help out whenever you can with the animal shelter, because they do an awesome job, and the animals, they got no say-so in it. They didn't ask for it. People are just sorry sometimes, and they catch the brunt of it. So if you feel it in your heart, help the animals out. All I got.
Good. Commissioner Vaughn?
I just want to take a time, Lorinda, stand up.
Oh, my God.
She recognized everybody else in her department, but she didn't recognize herself. So on the 28th of January, She was nominated as the APWA winner at the winter executive board meeting as the 8th district director. So she will be serving as the director for the APWA, which is the Association of Public Works. American Public Works Association. So she will be serving our district as the director for this year. So congratulations, thank you.
And she was also dominating the pickleball courts all weekend long for
Just work. Oh. Commissioner Martin?
One, to echo the same sentiments around the board. When we call Lorinda, it gets done, and it gets done promptly. Wherever Sean Wood is, I'm going to tell him thank you, right? Because he said we would not notice any changes, and you've done a good job of keeping that together. And thank you to Jerry as well. But when I call or text, she's on it, Johnny on the spot. The same thing to Brandon, and of course Bert, in support of the programs that happen across the county with regard to sports. So I'm just appreciative of everything that everybody does to keep everybody safe. I get less calls than I've ever had before, and that's a testament to the work that you guys do. So thank you.
It's ironic. I got a call week before last from Sean, and he said, is Lorinda and Jerry doing like I said they could do? I said, absolutely. I said, so you coming back? He could, no, I didn't say that yet. It's in good hands. I said, okay.
Amen.
But he did. He said that to you. He said, are they doing exactly what I said they could do? I said, absolutely. So he was checking on y'all too. Uh-oh. Y'all got, no, he's bragging on both of y'all. Thank y'all. Stepping up and making it happen. I need a motion to,
I make a motion that we go into executive session.
for real estate and legal.
Real estate and legal.
Okay, second.
I was gonna say that, thank you.
Second.
Second.
Bossy men up here.
Excuse me.
Y'all rubbing off on us.